you to be quiet every day, not with something to do, not because you're trying to perfect some kind of new modality or tool to reach ascension or to reach enlightenment. Let all that go. Just come to that place of stillness because it feels good, because it's relief, because there's a wisdom in you that hears these words and knows it's exactly where all your answers are. Because it's a place that you know that as you let go and release resistance, the body will return to health. And here's the reason that you won't do this. Some of you won't do it. And sources help me explain why. And I'm going to read this page to you from the Getting Into the Vortex book, which I've discussed many times. But I'm going to read this page and then I'll discuss why some of you won't choose that. The cells of your body are guided by Source, and they have the ability to find their balance no matter what. Every time. No matter what.
No matter what.
And so, you will not only find recovery from unwanted conditions, but a steady maintaining of well-being will ensue. Your sophisticated physical body exists because of the intelligence of your cells.
Right.
And the intelligence of your cells exists because of their connection to source energy. Einstein said once that the only thing that is real is the source field. It's the field of infinite source energy. It is the only thing that's real. Everything else is energy particles that appear to be solid and real, but in truth, they're not as solid and real as you think. It's our dream. We're dreaming it all in. We are taking source energy and we are creating. And then we're taking these particles of matter and we're bringing it all together to look real. Kind of like in the Matrix when they say there is no spoon. That is a more true statement than many understand. And so as we get to that place where we understand source field is real, all of this we can shift by coming back to source field. As we connect with source, we create, and we create powerfully. If you're having struggle with money, your body, your relationships, stop talking about it. Stop freaking talking about it. Stop giving so much energy to it. Stop worrying about it so much. Because as you're doing that, you are magnifying all that energy to you 100-fold. It's just, you're like a magnet for crap coming in. So as we just tune in, we're like, okay, so I see this situation. This is not how I would love it to be, but I am going to still stay in a place of love and honor, and I'm just going to call forth what I'm ready for. So like my computer wasn't really working that great. I spent a lot of money on this computer. And what I'm doing is vibrationally like, you know what? This computer definitely has some issues. Something's going on. But thank you, angels. Thank you, universe, for working it out to where it's either resolved through a person fixing it or you're bringing me a new one. And we're just going to return it and everything's going to work out for my highest good. So the pause there is where I can tune in and remember, okay, I brought this to me. And I can create and bring a new one to me. I can create and release it. I can get rid of things. I can pull things in, all from my thoughts, from my actions, my words. It's all part of my creation tool. So if you're struggling in some way and you're talking a lot about the struggle, dare to stop because it's not helping you. In fact, it is creating more struggle. If you are struggling with money, stop worrying about it. Stop talking about it. And start focusing on the feeling of being rich, the feeling of wealth, the feeling of abundance. I was talking, and hopefully my sister won't mind, but she was talking with me earlier and she said something like, you know, Tanya, I don't think I really want to be rich because I just think money just screws people up. It just ruins them. And I was like, interesting. I said, that's an interesting belief system that you have. And she's like, what? Like, no, like I really feel that that's what happens. I said, I know you do. And that is a deeper reason why you may be blocking your abundance. And it's not a judgment. It's just tuning in and going, oh, there's this very passionate, powerful belief system in me that says if I have a lot of money, I'm going to be screwed up and I'm going to be corrupt and I'm just going to lose my mind. And so some of us, we just got to get in there and feel that stuff and not judge ourselves. Just go, whoa, that belief system just popped out of somewhere. Where did that come from? And then we can start to explore it. And I know growing up with that sister, we were taught a lot about in religion, money is the root of all evil. And, you know, to be godly, you just give from the heart, you give from love, and you don't worry about receiving. And that's fine. The giving and the not worrying, I get. But the teaching of something that's just an energetic exchange to assist us being evil, interesting. And some of us took that in so deeply that we don't know why we can't quite manifest. And it could be this unconscious part of ourselves that's just like, I can't let you manifest. It's going to kill you. It's terrible. So this part of your psyche is actually trying to protect you. So as we tune in, we can really start to explore our inner world. And for us to be quiet and to go inside and reflect, we know ourselves more. We can start to see what needs to be released that's no longer serving us. And we can see the power that we have in our creations by where we're holding our focus. So I'm going to pause for a second. Any questions or anything coming in, Amnon?
Not yet.
Okay. So back to reading in the getting into the vortex. Doctors, of course, are aware when your physical body is no longer the receiver of source energy, and so they then pronounce you dead. But there is much, much more for them to come to understand about the connection between your cellular physical body and the vibrational energy of source. When doctors and scientists try to find cures for diseases without taking into consideration the vibrational relationship between the physical being and the source energy, they are looking for cures in all the wrong places. So if we really go into that, this is where many of us, we have sicknesses and we have things going on, and we're searching for cures. We're searching for a relief. We want answers. And so we start thinking we're helping ourselves by Googling all this information, reading a ton of books on our symptoms and what could be the problem. And in truth, what you're doing vibrationally is you are really powerfully drawing more problem into your world. And a part of your intellect, your ego self, thinks it's being really wise and it's trying to help you. But the true, deeper wisdom would be to be quiet and to go lay down and to release resistance, to tune into your body and ask, like, what's going on, kidneys? Why are you hurting today? What is going on? What do I need to release? You know, what do you have to teach me? And then you're quiet and you listen. You will be amazed as you start to tune into your body and really listen to what it's trying to tell you. But there's wisdom there. Your cells are so intelligent, and they are doing their best every day to keep you in health, to keep you in wholeness. But your ego and your mind and your wounded self, the wounded soul that is constantly, trying to create disruption, that part needs to be addressed and acknowledged so that we can clear that and we can really come back to wholeness. This is why, as an intuitive healer, the main thing that I'm doing in helping clients is helping them to clear old vibrational patterns and energy, and to help them to see in a new way, help them to remember who they are, help them to use their creative powers in a positive way instead of in a negative way. Because all of you listening today are creators. Every last one of you are powerful creators. And if you're having an experience in your life right now you don't enjoy, there's something that you are focusing on that has caused this to manifest. And if you stay in the martyr role, if you stay in a victim role, you will not allow yourself to see that. You will continue to be a victim. You will continue to stay in that place of suffering. And so that's fine if you want to stay there. Of course, you have right as a creator to do that. But as a messenger of source, I'm here to help you remember who you are and to show you that there is another way. There is another path and another place to put your focus, and that is on your wholeness. That is on your abundance. It is on the support and the love. And some of us, we get these ideas, and I've had it happen to me where I have an idea. My ego gets like an idea, and it thinks it's so witty. And it's like, I really want this to happen in this certain way. And then when that doesn't happen, I suffer. Example I had, last night when I was having my crying moment and I was releasing a lot of energy, a simple thing happened. My fiance's mom had called and she talked with him. She talked with the granddaughter, and she didn't ask to talk to me. And it triggered something in me, and I was already feeling emotional. But I was laying there, and my beloved's like, what's wrong, baby? And I'm crying, and I was just, today as I processed, I was like, I was grieving a dream. And he's like, what do you mean? And I said, I had a dream that at some point on this planet, I would find a family who loved me and supported me.
Oh.
And even talking about that makes me want to cry. It brings up emotion. So, woo, we're having a clearing right live on the show today. So, see, it doesn't necessarily stop just because you lead an internet show. You're always going to be doing this. And so, as I tuned into that feeling, I'm like, what is this feeling? Like, what is this feeling of rejection and not being supported and loved? Like, where is that coming from? And it was from childhood things, from childhood experiences of not really having a family that supported and loved me, having family members write you off because they just are afraid of you. They can't handle your truth. They can't handle how you live in such a free way. This has been an experience I've had many times. And I got to a point where years ago I realized I don't need a mother or a father in physical because I have that within. My mother, my masculine, my feminine energy, it's right inside of me. It's source energy. It's source provides everything we need. But there was this part of my wounded ego self that showed itself, that rose to the surface to say, hey, remember when we had that dream of having this family that actually really wanted to talk to us and cared and supported? And when we saw them, they'd run and give us hugs and they'd invite us to special events. And they were just so loving. That was a dream. And I had this kind of expectation, something that I would love to have happened. And, you know, because I'm speaking this, there's still a good chance it's going to happen and it's going to manifest. But in that moment, it didn't feel like it had happened. It didn't feel like it was manifesting yet. And so I was grieving. I was releasing that energy and detaching from it. That's healthy. Because if I don't do that and I just go, oh, I don't know what these feelings are. Oh, they're scaring me. Let me just push them back inside. Then I can do that, but they're going to come back up again. They are going to rise again. And what I've learned to do through meditation is to allow it. So if something's coming and I'm feeling like I'm going to cry, I don't get judgmental on myself. I don't think, oh, you suck, Tanya. What's wrong with you? You're supposed to be this perfect healer that knows all. That is craziness. And I watch people kind of put pressure on healers, put pressure on ministers, on celebrities, on anybody that's kind of living publicly and transparently and they're in the public eye. There's this pressure put on them to be something perfect, and it's bullshit. It's complete crap, and it's not helpful. And even though I see that and I see the pressure of that, I don't participate. So I feel like today speaking this is even important for any of those listening that do put pressure on others because they're in a public eye. Like, let's say Obama's having a bad day. Maybe he's at an event and he's just like, you know what, the world is just shit. And he's just feeling frustrated that day. He's like, you know, I signed up for this thing, this job. I wanted to make a difference. And God, people just are hateful. They don't appreciate anything I'm trying to do. Like, I'm just pissed. I think I'm going to just go and play golf. And then the media just takes hold of that and just terrorizes him because he's trying to go into nature and relax and just let go of all that stress. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what humans do to each other. And I'm here to mirror to you all that we're all human. Obama, me, the girl down the street, the homeless guy that I just passed today, the elderly woman, Oprah Winfrey, every one of us are human beings. That we are spiritual beings in a human experience. That's more precise. Spiritual beings in a human experience, and we are all part of the whole. We are all part of this collective consciousness. We are all part of this oneness of source energy, but we're all fragmented pieces of the bigger piece. We're like drops of the ocean, but the ocean is the source energy. It's who we are. And so as we can get to that place where we stop trying to disconnect and separate and try to make ourselves superior, inferior, play victim games, play martyr roles, play this game of superiority, we will so evolve our planet so fast, and we'll really help each other have that release and that relief that we need, because we're not here to be these perfect beings, meaning that I'm not allowed to feel emotion, I'm not allowed to show my feelings. That's not the path of perfection. I feel in essence, we already are perfect and whole. And when we focus on that wholeness, we feel permission to feel. And that's healthy. if you see someone that's going through trouble, like when I see clients I've helped as a